How Matakiapi relatives. My name is April Matson. I am a member of the Sicangu Lakota Oyate and the Tanana Athabaskan tribe of Alaska. I am originally from Rapid City, South Dakota. That's where I grew up. But now I'm living in Minneapolis, Minnesota with my two kids, Gloria and Reggie, and my two cats, Fang and Bobby. I am so happy to be here with you today, Todd County School District, to talk about music and community, and different ways that you can participate in music and the arts, and how that can help facilitate building a community. I do have a little slideshow, so I'm going to pull that up. So when we talk about music and community, we're talking about the different types of music that you can play, where you can learn music, and how you can teach it to yourself. And music, to me, also includes the arts. And so painting, drawing, crafting, creating, any of those things, and how the arts and music community can be such a strong and supportive community. So I personally started learning music when I joined band. In my middle school years, I was playing the flute. And when I got into high school, I also joined the drum line. I was a cymbal player. You can see in the lower corner a violin. That's an orchestral instrument. And so that is what we call the string instrument. So the flute would have been a woodwind instrument, and the violin would be a string instrument. You can also see the sheet music down here as well. And so in band and orchestra, you will learn how to play these different notes, how to read this music. And as you learn how to read music, it doesn't look as much like nonsense. These little notes actually represent the note that you play in the tone, but they also tell you how long to play the note. And so I feel really grateful that I was able to learn sheet music. It was a really great experience for me. A lot of the friends that I met in band are friends that I still have now. But I don't really play these instruments anymore. A lot of my friends still do play their instruments, but I have moved on from it. But I do still have my flute and I will pick it up sometimes. Band and orchestra is usually taught in schools if your schools offer that, or there could be private teachers that know how to play these instruments and are able to teach you outside of school as well. We're going to talk about another kind of music. It's what I'm calling DIY music, so do-it-yourself music. You can see in these photos some like bands that have been put together consisting of drums, guitar, bass guitar, vocalists. One of them has a piano in it. A lot of these instruments you can teach yourself at home, or people will learn them from their friends or from their families who have learned how to play them. You can pick up a book or look up on the internet like guitar chords, and it will show you where to put your fingers on the guitar to play a certain chord. And you can do that with a bass as well. Singing is one of my favorite things to do. I was in choir growing up. Now I mostly just sing along to the radio or when I'm listening to Taylor Swift. But that is something that you can also learn on the internet. You can learn how to do some vocal warm-ups. So that's warming up your vocal cords so that you can sound really great. You're able to be loud. And then you can start building your range. And so how low you can sing and then how high you can sing. So there are ways to train your vocals also. And with the drums, you can look up different rhythms, different patterns, which drums you should be hitting at what time. And then there are basic drum patterns that you can learn as well. And you can do all of this at home. Maybe you have a family member who knows these instruments and they can teach you. I did want to say also that if you get a standard sized guitar, it might feel a little bit too big for your hands depending on your age. There are some guitars that are smaller. And so I have this one right here. This is a small guitar for children specifically. And so it's a little bit easier to hold the chords with your fingers. And then here's a ukulele. This is not the same as a guitar. It only has 4 strings on it, but it's also really good for smaller hands. But also, if you do have a regular size guitar or bass, that is totally fine. And you can still learn how to play on it, even if it's too big or if it feels too big. Something that I like to do with the kids who come to our program to learn instruments, which I will talk about later, they will lay them flat on their laps so that they can hold the strings a little bit easier and they can strum a little bit easier. And we almost always have them sitting down. It's much easier to have it resting on your lap than trying to hold it because they can be quite heavy if they're the regular sized ones. And so if you get a regular sized guitar or bass and you feel like it's pretty difficult, you're not wrong. It is pretty difficult, but you can definitely do it. Just don't try to do what this person in the picture is doing, standing up and holding it. It might just be a little bit too big right now. So creating community within music and arts, I think something that we've seen so much in the last couple of years is Taylor Swift, and all of her fans have been making these friendship bracelets that they've been handing out to one another. Now, those are mostly strangers in these really large form communities, but we can also do the same thing in smaller communities. And so within the community that you're in, you can create an even smaller community that's your music community, and then an even smaller community that is like your band or the people that you do art with. Maybe you get together and you photograph things, or you paint together, or you make collages or write. You get together and just write poetry and share it together. That would be your own smaller nucleus community inside of your larger community. It's fun to make art with friends. It's fun to share interests with other people. Maybe they're introducing you to new things, and then you can also introduce them to new things. Seeing others be creative can make it easier for you. I know that I can get nervous sometimes doing things that I'm not sure if other people are doing or if they think is cool or fun. And so when you have friends, like you can see this photo on the bottom, that is a band that my friend is in, and they're all very silly and they keep getting sillier throughout the years, and they all play music together and they're very close. But they live in different states, but they're still able to come together and connect through music and through having a band. And then the picture above that you can see is from, it's a photo from a program that I run called Rock The Rez. This is a band that they all have put together, and they work together throughout the week, and they formed friendships with one another just from working together to write their song. Being an individual with people that think you're awesome, it's really, really fun and exciting to show up as your authentic self, which is like silly or creative, or maybe you're shy, maybe you are into drawing, and then to have the people who are around you say, you know, you're really awesome. I love who you are. And you're not pretending to be somebody just to fit into the group. You're really showing up as yourself. And I think these creative spaces can really support that. They support like us showing up as ourselves. And then you have people who like want to see that from you. They want you to be yourself. They want you to show up as your silly or fun or loud or quiet self. And they can help you learn and excel in your music and art. Sharing is caring. So as we continue to move along in our musical or art journey, we're going to learn more stuff. We're going to be picking up more things, or we're going to start learning different things. Maybe we started out knitting and now we're doing crocheting or needlepoint, or maybe now we're beading. We can bring that back to our creative friends and say, look, this is what I learned. Or maybe you've just gotten better. You've learned different tips and tricks and you're able to share that with other people, and they get to do the same with you. And so you can all continue to grow and learn together. And you'll probably bring other people into your community. You'll meet new people. Your friends will meet new people, and your community will start to get bigger. Music and art is for all ages. So if you're at school and you learn something, you can share your art with your family, and it can be fun to teach your family what you know. I know that my kids, they learn stuff at school all the time that I've never done, and then they come home and they teach me, and it's really fun. It's fun for all of us. It's fun to learn something new, and I think it's really amazing that you all learn stuff at school and are able to teach, your parents or your family how to do those things. I just want everybody to know that kids' art is so beautiful. And I think a lot of times kids compare their art to like adult art and they don't see it as good, or they see all these differences, but it's all really beautiful. You are able to create and make the things that you see in your head and put it down on paper or canvas, or you're writing or you're singing. And that's really amazing. And you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. It's what you as an individual bring, and your family is going to appreciate that so much. And your friends and people who are around you, they're going to really appreciate seeing you creating and expressing yourself in the way that only you can do. And so from preschool and even before that to, you are 102 years old, all art is going to be evolving and changing with your age and your knowledge and your skill level. But the people around you are always going to love it and appreciate it. And you should never hold back from sharing that. So this is something that I've brought up a couple of times. It's the program that I run called Rock The Rez. And there could be other music programs near you as well. But this is the one that I'm the most knowledgeable about because it's the one that I do. At Rock The Rez, we teach guitar, bass, vocals, and drums, as you can see, and like I've talked a little bit about before. And we teach these instruments from a 0 skill level. So that means that a lot of the campers who come in have never played these instruments before. And so we are doing kind of what I said earlier. We're teaching them 1 or 2 chords that they'll know, and then they can write their song based on those. And sometimes throughout the week, they will pick up a couple more chords, and some don't. Some just write a song with just 1 or 2 chords, and they're always very, very good. They're really cool. And then as a band, they will also write lyrics to their songs. They'll name their song, and they'll also name their band. And they do this within 5 days. And so within just 5 days, they're able to learn an instrument and write a song. And so this is what I mean by the do it yourself or do it together attitude. Is they're coming in with no knowledge, and then we're sharing just a little bit that we know. So Rock the Rez is for girls, Two-Spirit, trans, and LGBTQ youth. Our camp specifically serves these communities because I think usually in the rock and roll world, there is a lot, it's been pretty male dominated. And so we wanted to just create this space for just these folks to come and feel safe and feel like they can create and see what they would want to write about, what they would want to talk about. We want them to be able to feel like they can be creative and open and loud and take up space and feel empowered. And so we do that with the music aspect of it. And we also do some workshops throughout the week too. So they'll learn other ways of creating art or writing. We do writing prompts. Sometimes we have somebody who comes and teaches self-defense, all kinds of things. And so it's really about empowerment and feeling like they have a voice and that their voice is worth being heard, which is what I want to share with you today, is you have a voice and your voice is worth being heard. Here are some photos from our camp. You can see we're just having fun, hanging out, goofing around. This large photo is from our performance. So at the end of the week, each band performs their song in front of their family and friends and community members and shares it with the rest of the camp as well. And we call that our showcase. And so our showcase days are always really, really fun. Some at-home creative ideas that you can do. I have done many karaoke sessions at home with my kids, where you just look up on YouTube karaoke and it will come up with the lyrics and the songs and you can sing along to them. And it's a really fun way to pass the time. Photography, if you have a phone or you have a camera, you can pick up photography. And you can photograph anything that interests you. It could be nature or your pets or people, your family and friends. Pick up an instrument like we've talked about. Painting videos. Painting videos you can also find on YouTube, and they will tell you like step by step how to create a painting. I just did this the other day on Easter with my family, and it was really fun to see how we all differed in our paintings and how we kind of interpreted each thing, and blending the paint was more challenging for me than it was for my kids, but that's okay. Gardening can be really fun. I think especially if you're in an area that has plants that are growing, like maybe by the river. Maybe you can take the root, dig up just like the small plant and take it to your house and then plant it. And you can create a little garden that way. You can also go to the store and buy plants. You can get seeds and then put them in some soil and take care of them. It's kind of the perfect time right now. We are in spring. It's about to go into summer when everything starts blooming and blossoming and growing. That can be a very fun and inexpensive thing to do. Beading, if you know how to bead. I put this one on here because I am just learning how to bead. I am making earrings. I did not make these ones. I'm not quite at that level, but it was simpler than I thought it would be, and it's been really fun. These are just some of the ideas. If you have other ideas, I hope that you share them with your family and you can do them together, or you can create them and then show them to your family when they're done or when they're in progress, or maybe ask for some help. Here are our two camp flyers. I put this on so that I can share them with you, just so that you know what I have going on with Rock The Rez. But I also wanted to share this with you because I didn't go to college to do this. I didn't go to art school or design school. And so I didn't go to college to run a program like Rock The Rez. And I didn't go to like a design school to create these flyers. This is created on a website called canva.com, CANVA. And you can get very creative on there and it can be really fun, and they come out looking pretty good. And so I just wanted to show that, you know, sometimes maybe things like seem like they're more difficult or seem like they're not for you, but they are. And I hope that you'll just get out there and try them and go for it, because that's been it's been a huge change in my life to just think about, you know, the things that I as an individual bring to the table and can do, And it's just so much fun, and you can really accomplish a lot by showing up as your authentic self. So I encourage you to keep growing and creating. It's good for you and for your community. Um, Everybody wants to see you growing and creating. I know that I do. And I just want to thank you all so much for having me, and thank you for letting me share this with you. I hope that it was interesting. And I hope that I see you around this summer. I will be around, and thank you all so much. And if you have any questions or anything, or you want to be in touch with me, you can go to the website, rocktherez.com, and our email is on there. We're on social media, and you'll be talking directly to me. And so I thank you all so much. I hope you have a fun and creative summer and spring, and I'll see you all later. Bye.